Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind Podcast.
Welcome to the Grappling Rewind Podcast. I'm your host, Maine, here with my co-host,
Josh.
And we're going to be breaking down the week's professional grappling events, starting with Fight to Win Pro 65 in... Josh, where was it?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas, as well as ACBJJ 11 in Barcelona, Spain. Fight to Win Pro is actually in Dallas. Then a little later in the show, we'll be previewing IBJJF 2018 Pan Ams and Fight to Win Pro 66.
No, we won't, because it's not next week, because they skipped a week.
So we'll not be previewing Fight to Win, only Pans. But first, as always, we're going to kick off the show with a little bit of news.
The Kasai qualifiers.
For 185.
It happened. We have ourselves a qualifier. God. Nick Calvinese, if I'm not mistaken, somewhat local guy from BJJ United, Jared Weiner. He won the tournament. Great wrestler, great jiu-jitsu guy. So it'll be interesting throwing him in the field. I'd love to see what he does against, Deniz and DJ Jackson and Richie Martinez, Dante Leon. Those are the people that we know that are in the bracket so far.
And that event's going to be April 14th, Kasia Pro 2. And the last one was great to watch, so this one will be hopefully more of the same. But they do a qualifier. This gentleman won the tournament, and he is now in with the big boys for the 185-pound tournament.
I think Craig Jones is going to heel hook everybody.
That would not surprise me for a second. Because he's got to get him all out of his system before he gets in the quintet when he can't do it.
Yeah, there we go. So... that's it for news this week.
Yeah, really not a lot of going on this week for news. Everyone is just focused on Pans, and so there's not been a whole lot of anything. And one last bit of news, we are now on TuneIn, which is apparently Amazon's music service. So if you want to listen to us on the Alexa, you can now do that. So jumping right into it, ACBJJ 11 in Barcelona, Spain.
How about that? You know what's fun to do, Maine? Do you know what's really fun to do?
What's fun?
Try to watch jiu-jitsu when you don't have any power.
Oh, yeah. Maryland got hit with a bit of a windstorm, and it knocked everything down. I have actually wires that are right now down in my driveway.
I didn't have power for most of the weekend. It sucked. The power came on right as the UFC came on, and it went off about 10 minutes after the UFC ended. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this UFC, and then I'm going to watch ACBJJ. And it cut out. Tried to watch it at work. I was busy at work.
But the great thing about ACBJJ is that it's on YouTube and it's up immediately after it streams, so we can rewatch it immediately.
Unlike other things that are still not up, even though they didn't have anything else to do this weekend.
Josh, what by chance do you mean?
Flow Grappling still doesn't have Fight to Win up. The videos. Come on, please, just give us the giant chunk of video, just from the start to the end. We can skip around if we need to. We're not that lazy. Just give it to us until you chop them up. Easy. Done.
So,
anyway.
On to ACBJJ 11. That concludes the bitching portion of our podcast.
No, it doesn't.
There'll be more. There always is.
Let me tell you something about ACBJJ 11. That shit did not live up to the hype from ACBJJ 10.
Yeah,
Look,
10
we're
spoiled
already
us
back
a little
to
bit.
bitching.
10 spoiled us a little bit. 10 might have been the most stacked jiu-jitsu card of all time.
This one could have been awesome too. It was just fucking long.
Okay, so
how many submissions were there? 2.
Were there two? Only two? 2 or 3?
2.
There really was only 2.
2.
Yep, there was 2. So
2.
if you don't know ACBJJ, they are an organization that puts on high-level matches. They do almost more like an MMA style of matching. You have 3 rounds.
5 minutes.
For regular matches that are 5 minutes long. So you have a 5-minute section of a match. You go talk to your corner for a minute, come back out, have another 5-minute round, then have another 5-minute round. If no one gets subbed. If someone gets subbed, it's like MMA. It counts as a knockout, counts as a submission. The bout ends.
As a submission.
I'm just saying it ends the match. And then for title fights, which there was one of on this card, there
5 rounds.
5 rounds, 5 minutes. So if you have every match on your card go to decision, every match is roughly about 20 minutes between the walkout and the decision, and then the guys walk back out. You're from match to match. It's 20 plus minutes. So if you have 10 plus decisions on a card, it's a long night.
The YouTube video is 6 hours and 22 minutes long. I'll put it that way. And there wasn't like, oh, we're going to leave all this part in. They got right to the action pretty much. Drysdale and Braulio stepped up their game this one.
Did, definitely.
Good on them. We'll get to some of the...
Those are the commentators for the event.
The goof-ups throughout the commentary, which was not many, but there was some funny moments. But man,
there's always going to be when you talk for 6.5 hours.
Oh my goodness. This was a lot of jiu-jitsu to watch, and I was like, come on. Some people were going for it, and other people were just like, if I win, I win. Whatever.
Yeah, all of them were in the gi, by the way, so we're not going to mention this is gi, this is no gi, because every single match on this card was in the gi.
Yeah, apparently they're just following IBJJF season and saying, hey, it's gi season.
It's gi season, Josh.
We'll go with the gi. And once it goes back to no gi season near the end of the year, they might switch to no gi. It'll be interesting.
But they do both, so this card was completely gi, and let's get into it.
From bottom to top, we'll run through the results. We'll fill you in on a little info, say which ones to watch, which ones you can skip through a little bit. So Marcelo Mafra defeated Rodrigo Carvalho via decision. Unanimously, Tomoyuki Hashimoto murked Maiko Arujo, which is actually how you say it.
Really? Is it Arujo?
Yes, I was listening specifically how to pronounce names, so I would say them correctly, because I thought it was Arujo.
That's how I read it.
Arujo.
Yeah, this is okay. Again, we're going to go through this card, tell you what matches to watch, what matches to maybe not watch. This match is a match to watch. Hashimoto is insane with his passing and his leg dexterity.
We'll get to it in a second. I'm going to run through. That match got me really fucking excited. Samir Chantre defeated Lercio Fernandez via decision. Isaac Doderlin defeated Kim Terra by decision.
Kyle Terra's brother.
Yeah. Doderlin just won the San Francisco Open.
Yeah, that's correct. It was San Fran.
Moku Kahawai. That's right.
Is that how you say it?
Kahawai. I told you I was listening.
We butchered that last time then.
Yes, we did. Defeated Vinny Magalhães. They were talking about how American people say that really funny. I still can't pronounce it.
I can't, because Vinny pronounces it different ways too. That's partially why, because depending on who is talking to him for an interview, he will pronounce his last name differently. So that's partially why there's confusion. I don't want to bullshit.
Whatever.
He pronounces it differently.
He won via decision.
No, Moku won, not Vinny.
That's what I meant. Moku. Yeah, you can skip that one. You can. I'm not even going to talk about it. The match was boring as fuck. AJ Souza defeated Arnaldo Maidana by decision. Ooh, man. Good match. Luan Carvalho defeated Daoud Adev via submission, via toe hold in reverse action. We'll talk about that later,
pretty brutal toe hold, too.
Victor Honorio defeated Herbert Santos by split decision. He wasn't even mad that he lost. Hudson Mateus obviously was tired of sitting around, and he subbed Mateus Ribeiro super quick. Lucas Rocha defeated Alex Cabanes via decision. Bruno Frazado defeated Gabriel Marangoni via decision. That's
Man,
right.
when I get to the fight to win section of these names, it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be great.
After you doing a great job with these names.
Hey, I listened. Michael Langhi defeated Marcio Andre via decision. The rest of these people won by decision, so I'm just going to tell you who won. Claudio Cabral defeated Juan Cabral. Izaki Bahens. That's right. I listened to that too.
He defeated Bahens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Going with it. That's what they were saying. Bahens. Going with that. Defeated Otavio Souza. And Javy Ramos defeated Edwin Najmi via decision for the title.
So Javy Ramos takes the belt at, what weight class actually?
Welterweight.
Welterweight, okay.
Welterweight.
And they use the MMA or they use IBJJF?
Sort of.
Is it one of those like weird welterweight, but it's not? Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to zip through these because some of these are legit skippers. I mean, if you're into these people, watch it, but some of these are legit. Like, I don't have to watch this because this wasn't super exciting, which bummed me out. Marcelo Mafra versus Rodrigo Corporal. Skip. Marcelo did his thing. He went through and, stayed on top. That was, worked from his guard, did well. That was it. Not a very exciting match. Hats off to both the guys for going out, but I was sleepy. Tomoyuki Hashimoto versus Maiko Arujo. I want to train with Tomoyuki Hashimoto so bad after watching this match. This guy is a fucking ninja.
Just the way he passes. He does things
just the way
in passing.
He came in there with the best game plan in the world. So one of the things is if you pull guard immediately
within the first minute
in ACBJJ, you cede 2 points. Like you give up, like you got taken down. So you're down 2. So what he did, and what people I guess have figured out, is you wait to that exact minute because they also will penalize you if you're not doing anything for a minute. So exactly at 4 minutes,
which is the earliest time that you can pull guard without a penalty,
he would sit. And the first time it happened, he sat, and Maiko, that's what they were saying. Maiko, excuse me. Maiko sat a fraction of a second later, and Tomoyuki swiped at his ankle like he was going to do an ankle pick, or it looked like sort of a takedown and came up, but he sat first, so he came up and got the 2. From there, this guy just destroyed Maiko's half guard.
To put it nicely, I think.
He just, it was wondrous. It was beautiful. He was constantly pressuring his right leg through for a knee slide, and every time he couldn't get it through, he would get this collar grip and step over for this choke, which would force Maiko to defend the choke, and Tomoyuki would pass his leg through, or almost pass it through.
He'd definitely get to like a top dominant position where he was balancing on top of his like sternum with his knee, or like the lower ribs with the knee.
Yeah, he drove his knee right into his solar plexus.
Yeah, so he had the top collar grip. He'd pull his knee through, and then Michael would be defending, and Tomoyuki would just be on top going like, wherever way you want me to pass, I'll pass that way. Cool.
The way he would just turn and transition and try to take the back or start attacking things. Don't get me wrong. Tomoyuki was trying to finish the match. Most definitely trying to finish the match.
But he's also going to get a couple of those points before he does, Josh.
Oh, yeah. He got it. They score it like MMA too, and he got a 10-8 round the first round.
He was up, I think he was up 10-2.
10-2.
Yep.
Yes.
I think Michael got 2 points with like 10 seconds left.
With a quick sweep, but Tomoyuki didn't care. His guard work was on point. No, it wasn't getting past.
Yeah, we've seen him before.
Happening.
And I remember last time we saw him.
Samir Chantry.
Was it Samir Chantry?
I believe so.
We commented on how crazy the leg dexterity he has.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to like pull his own legs. He can just move his legs into positions that I can't.
It'd be super scary if that guy was bigger.
Yeah, thank God he's tiny. Like my people, Josh.
Through all of if you bumped him up and made him like a super heavyweight, but made him that active and mobile, he'd be the most frightening person.
I'm giving Josh the terrified face, if you can't see.
Yeah.
Which you can't because this is audio.
So, yeah, he murked Maiko. He just murked him. He was just trying to submit him and just doing whatever he felt like. And they interviewed him, and he was like, yeah, I knew he was good at half guard, so we worked on that. Fucking obviously.
That's the most gangster thing to say. Yeah, we knew he was good at this one thing, so I was going to let him do the good thing and just work on getting points off it.
He would like sweep him and come up into his half guard and say, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah. So this is a match to watch. This was a fun...
Watch it.
I was going to say back and forth match, but it really was. It was active.
If you are in that weight class or around that weight class or play that game, pick that match apart and just watch what he does. It's awesome. Robert Drysdale was like, I like what he's doing with that collar grip to the choke. I'm going to start doing that. Like, that's how impressed he was with the setup to it, because even if you don't get it, you would pass. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things where your opponent has to defend or do something else, and it opens up other opportunities for you to do what you want to do. So it was spectacular to watch him just continue to do that, and then Maiko not have a huge answer to be able to stop it. You know, it was exciting.
Yep. Samir Chantre versus Lercio Fernandez. Skip. He and Queixinho play almost the same game where they'll start on the bottom and wrap up some sort of 50-50 or something like that and come up and get 2 points and then bog the other person down. Occasionally, if they get knocked over, they'll just come right back up. Skip it. Like, that shit was boring. And I'm going to be saying that a lot.
And by the way, we're not trying to be disparaging.
Yes.
We're trying to say, like, from an entertainment perspective, if we watch it all.
Yeah. You hear about it on the internet or wherever. You talk to your friends or other people that don't know about jiu-jitsu, and they're like, that shit's boring to watch. You know, you ask your average UFC fan.
Oh, the ground's boring. Why doesn't you stand up?
That's just boring. You should punch him. So, yeah. That's why people think it's boring, because you slow it down to just some super cerebral. And don't get me wrong, it was super technical. It's a great game plan. It was very technical, and you can pick stuff up for it, but it's not exciting. So skip. Isaac Doderlin versus Kim Terra. Watch that one. That one was interesting. Like, it wasn't completely insane. There were great transitions in it. Kim came at Isaac in the beginning just super, super hard, and then it just started working from there. There were a few times during this match where there were just weird positions where they were giving out points left and right, and it was very confusing, and then they would take away points and then give points. It was weird.
Yeah, that happened at the end of the end of the card, too. There was a weird points where somebody had 2 points, and then there was like 10 seconds left of the match, and all of a sudden points were taken away.
Yeah.
There was some weird. There was, again, like last time with ACBJJ, there was a couple of matches where the points were weird and the rules were unclear.
Yeah. Isaac was hunting for the back like nobody's business. It was great. If you watch jiu-jitsu, you know about him. You know.
We've talked about him before.
U.S. standout. Keep an eye on him. He's gonna make waves. I think he's gonna go pretty far in Pans this year. I'm gonna say that right now. He was on the move. I think in San Fran, the video, you can find it on the IBJJF YouTube page. When he wins, he's beating on his chest and he's like, "This is my year." He's super stoked. The only round he lost was the first one. After that, he was all over Kim, and the way he just threw caution to the wind and would just go for the attack or hang out in certain positions. The last round, he got caught in he caught Kim in a crucifix type position from, like, he was behind him, but it was just because he had his leg inside with it too, and a Kimura. It was a good way to hold on, but also prevent anything bad from happening to him as well. That's a match you can watch. Go back and watch it. Again, you can pick up little things, and granted, I'm not the size of these guys. I'm moving towards playing this type of game more, and I can pick up details, and it's great because I don't have to pay to see what these guys are doing, and I can just replay it and replay it and replay it and replay it. Great match. Watch that one.
On to the next match, which was not as great of a match.
Are you going to say the name?
Moku?
No, the last name.
I'm not, Josh.
Kahawai. There you go.
Defeats Vinny Magalhaes via decision.
Skip. Don't even talk about it. I'm not even talking about it. I'm not saying why. Skip.
AJ Souza defeated Arnaldo
Maidana. So if you've kept an eye on AJ for a while, you know he's predominantly a guard player.
To put it lightly, Josh, yeah. That's the way to put it.
So what did he do?
He probably played guard, Josh.
Wrong. He fucking train wrecked Arnaldo. he like came in tight. He stayed on his feet. I was like, all right, he's going to wait the minute and pull guard. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, was like, guess what? And hit him with that quick, like Tim Spriggs
Train wreck style
drop Sayo. The same one that Rodolfo Vieira would use. Like, he just turns the corner and drops him.
And it threw Arnaldo for it. He was not expecting it.
No. And
all.
AJ went right to mount from there. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, legitimately, I out loud said, oh, shit, watching this. I was like, oh.
Because AJ's a guard player. And you just think, like, okay, he's going to wait the minute. He's going to pull guard because that's what we've been seeing. And he throws with that Sayo, and you're like, oh, god damn, like, he's not going to pull, and he is on top. And you saw immediately Arnaldo was like, oh, shit, like, this is happening. And he just wasn't expecting it. It was very obvious.
The announcers weren't expecting it. But as AJ started to attack, almost immediately, they were like, he's trying to get the quickest submission. I was like, well, nobody's submitted anybody yet, so it might be the only submission. The first round was just wild because AJ was just all over him. Wouldn't give him a second to breathe. So you're like, okay, break, next round. No way he's going to be able to do that again. None of that's going to happen. A little bit more back and forth, a little guard play. They're back up on their feet. What does he do? He throws him again.
2 times.
Threw him again. Same throw. You know, his passing looked great. He was moving through. He's attacking the back.
I think we see this throw. We're going to see this throw more and more and more, especially.
I still think you have to do it a lot.
You have to do it a lot, but I think this is becoming the throw we see in BJJ because, again, it's technical, but I don't think it leaves you open to get your back taken as easily. And
I think it does because if you fuck it up and you start to drop and the other guy doesn't go, they're going to jump on your back.
You just don't see it. You don't see it as much as the traditional Ippon Seonagi, though, with that one-arm Seonagi or like the Morote Seonagi. For some reason, with that double collar Seonagi, you don't see guys get the back taken as much.
There's less turning involved.
Right.
It's more rip and grip or grip and rip.
Right, and that's why I
you're
just think
here and you're like yank, pull, and turn, and because the inertia is in your favor.
Right, and that's why I just think you'll see more and more. I mean, we saw Lloyd's guys doing this for
But you still have to practice it a lot because if I were to try to do it to you today, I might get it 6 times out of 10, but those other 4 times you're going to be fucking all over me.
I mean, Josh, you had to practice things in jiu-jitsu to make them good?
Yes, but what's crazy is you're seeing a lot of more judo-style takedowns, a move towards that. You're seeing a lot of dudes try to do foot sweeps and Harais and other things like that.
Which you didn't see like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the takedown game, the metagame is like coming back and guys are starting to not just pull and you're starting to see high-level guys doing takedowns again. It makes everyone kind of go, look at that.
You're also seeing that sort of like bastardized wrestling, like Damian Maia does it in the UFC where he'll just do these far out shots and if it fails he'll pull guard and he'll be okay. But you see a lot of guys do these diving like doubles and singles. Look at Leandro Lowe where he just sort of tries to run you over. That's what's happening too. So unless you've got guys that are legitimate wrestlers that know how to wrestle, you're seeing a lot of people do more judo-related stuff, doing that train wreck type throw, doing foot sweeps, doing, Harais. Every once in a while, you'll get a shitty Uchimata.
I mean, you get Muhammad Ali does the Harai Goshi and the Uchimata.
Yeah, so I mean, it's coming more to the forefront where people are attacking. Mind you, this is all above lightweight.
Little guys still pull guard. There's very few takedowns
it's very
below
few,
lightweight.
and this was at 85 kilos, so yeah, not little guys.
Bigger guys.
Final round, AJ Souza, still on the move, gets caught in a footlock. Looked like it was tight, but he just, stone-faced it and was like, I'm not going to tap to it. It looked like he had a little bit of a limp to him, but it wasn't anything bad. He took the decision. Watch it.
On to the next match, we have Juan
Carvalho versus Daoud Adaev.
Which we butchered last week.
Yeah, that's okay. Whatever. So, Adaev is from Russia, or black belt
stands.
Yeah, actually, yes. And he was representing Checkmat. Carvalho was just all over him. Some people might like watching this match. Some people might not. It was mostly Luan the entire time. I mean, passing. There was one time where Adaev like rolled him over off a perfectly timed like mistake where he was coming over to attack, and you were like, "Oh, okay, maybe he's gonna get some offense," and then he just got knocked back over. And finally, in the third round, you're like, "Oh, okay." Obviously,
he has his number at this point.
He's got his number. He's gonna get it. And they're in this footlock position, and Adaev is on the ground trying to work it.
And Luan is standing above him, and they're in like not a 50-50 position, not quite a single leg X position, kind of like a single leg X, but it's low and there's no knee control. Like David is like sitting and laying on the ground,
and Luan grabs for the toe hold, but not the way you would see. He spun it the other way, like a reverse toe hold, still with the pinky toe.
Yeah, with the toe hold,
but he turned it in instead of out. I know it's very difficult to like
you go back and watch the finishing sequence.
But he turned it in, and you're like, ooh! And he actually like almost knee reaped himself.
Yeah, it
by
looked like
doing
he did,
the submission, but he was like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm trying to rip
but
this foot off.
he's still standing, so he had the ability to turn his hip out to not injure his own knee. But you saw him, and he grabs the foot, and he just rips it. And he gets the tap real fast.
Yeah.
And it looked like it actually almost surprised Dawood.
It did. It did. He was like, ah! And called it a day. So that was the first submission of the card. The first one.
One of two for the night.
So
a lot of decisions, a lot of split decisions. Actually, sorry, only one split decision, but it was a slower night. So that was that match. Good finishing sequence, fun pieces of the match, but it was really the Carvalho show for that one.
So this next match you can skip. I'll tell you who it was. Victor Honorio defeated Herbert Santos.
Herbert Santos, if you don't understand that joke, go back and listen to a couple episodes ago where we talk about the last ACBJJ card where the commentary staff called him Herbert instead of Herbert.
And they did it again. Drysdale was like, so Herbert, and I was like, he knows his name is Herbert. And he said, so Herbert is this. And then a couple seconds later, he's saying his name again. He goes, Herbert. I was like, oh, you caught yourself now that you're calling him Herbert, and his name isn't Herbert. He pulled a Herbert. That match was boring as fuck, too.
It was about 15 minutes on the feet.
Oh, God. I mean, there were attempts at takedowns, and they were close, but fuck, that was boring.
You think he still got an injury? There's no way he's not injured. Like, the way he looks when he's on versus the way he looked recently, like, night and day. Like, that's crazy.
It was brought up in the commentary. They're like, when he's on, but when he's off, it's just a mess. I think him opening a school has fucked him over, and I think that from what I've heard, from what I've gathered from the internet, his academy isn't doing great.
That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of original students have left and moved, but that happens pretty frequently in Brazil anyway. So it's
no, it doesn't. People don't jump ship like that. Like, it's a big thing. Like, the Crianche thing is like a big thing. It's the Sigma.
As soon as I said that, I was like, I hope he doesn't call me on that.
I'm going to call you out on it.
You're right.
Because he's known for just team jumping.
Yeah.
And so he shouldn't be surprised that people are leaving him, but he looks like ass right now.
If you're curious about what we're talking about, look at Herbert Santos.
See, you're calling him Herbert too because that's who he is.
Herbert Santos in the first match of ACBJJ 10 versus Adam Wardzinski. In that first round, he smashes Wardzinski.
Smoked him.
Then in the second round, he just
shit the bed.
He just quits. He got mounted, looks like he has injury, and taps. Same thing happened to Europeans. Go look at his matches before, like Muhammad Ali. And like the dude is a
look at
killer.
2017. 2017 was his year.
And he looked amazing, but for some reason, 2018, something happened right around Europeans.
The end of 2017 into 2018, he's just been shitting himself.
And we talk about this so much because he looked like such a world beater in 2017.
He looked unstoppable.
It's just so weird to see him a couple months later completely different. So that was this match.
Skip it.
On to the next match. Hudson Mateus versus
Mateus Ribeiro. You can watch this match even if you don't want to because it was 30 seconds long.
He had a fastest submission?
I'm going to guess because there were two, and his was quicker than the other one.
You mean in the first round, not in the third round?
Yeah. So he was not having it. He got Mateus down and got around his guard like, fuck this. I'm trying to get out of here and get something to eat. And he came over. I thought he was going to Kimura him at first, and then he transitioned to the armbar and just ripped that thing off. And I was like, oh,
yeah, he has
that
extended
guy is
and
scary.
And Ribeiro was tapping like for a little bit, and
it wasn't too long.
It wasn't too long, but it was definitely he was out, and it was extended for a second or two before everything was finished.
Watch it; it's 30 seconds long.
Next match, we have Lucas Rocha versus Alex Cabanas.
I'm gonna go with that one,
dude. I gotta stop listening to these with the commentary muted.
You should. Some of it, they were actually on point.
I did have it on for some of it, but I tend to like be doing stuff while I'm watching this.
What you're saying is you're a squirrel and you can't pay attention to multiple things at once.
Josh, if I'm a GameCube,
that is true.
And I literally went out like last night or 2 nights ago and bought a memory card because I couldn't find my memory cards.
You went out and bought. Where did you buy a memory card?
There's a retro game place in White Marsh Mall.
Oh yeah.
When I bought a memory card, I found like Smash Brothers and Sunshine. So I was doing that while I was watching Jiu-Jitsu this weekend.
Oh, I was about to say you can just get that shit off.
I found
eBay.
Donkey Konga.
You found it here, or you had to go and buy it again?
No, I haven't. I had with the bongo drums.
Do you have just one or two?
My one bongo drum.
We might have to go buy another.
I found DDR mats for PS2.
Ooh, if you don't know, I fucks with DDR.
Yeah,
big time.
So that's why I might have been a little sidetracked during some of the commentary, Josh.
If you ever see me out in public and there is an arcade that has DDR, I will join you and we will dance. Anyway, Lucas Rocha was all over Alex. All over him from start to finish. His guard work was great. Everything looked good. He was just all over him. It's another match to watch. You don't have to skip that one, but he was all over him. Bruno Frazado versus Gabriel Marangoni. Frazado actually lost the first round, and not because you were like, oh, this guy is beating him. Frazado was all over Marangoni, but Marangoni got the two for a sweep. Am I thinking about that right?
I think it was a sweep, yeah.
For a sweep. And then Frazado took his back and put in a body triangle. But they follow IBJJF rules, so you don't get points for that.
Yeah, you get the hooks in. If you get a body triangle, like no points for you.
So at one point, I mean, he immediately started go for the choke.
Yeah, if you're going to get a body triangle on the back, like you're not looking for the point, you're looking for the finish, especially for IBJJF rules. So as soon as a guy gets a body triangle, you're like, oh, I'm not looking for points. This dude's looking to finish. He's not looking to ride timeout because he didn't get his points.
Well, he started climbing up and trying to hang off of him too. Like, I'm going to try to get this finish. And he briefly put his hooks in. And I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, there's your points. And he went back to the body triangle. They didn't give him points. It might have been less than 3 seconds. I'm just a Bruno Frazado fan.
It was close, I think, but it was I thought I got points for it.
He didn't get points, so he lost that round. Second round, it was the same thing over and over again. He was just on his back, attacking, going on the move. He won that via decision because he won the next 2 rounds. But Frazado looked great. Great. I love seeing him compete. I'm bummed that, jiu-jitsu doesn't pay enough money and he's got to fight MMA.
Where's he fighting, Josh? I don't remember where he's fighting.
Last time I saw him, I think it was LFA or something like that. I know I've seen his fights on Access TV.
Okay, so it's probably either RFA or LFA, and they merged now.
Something like that. He's on one of the many fight promotions that they have on there.
Yeah.
CFFC, something. I don't know. But he's fighting to make money because jiu-jitsu doesn't make you a lot of money unless you're the Mendes brothers or Marcelo Garcia.
Unless you have an extensive academy affiliation and you're a multiple-time world champion.
Atos.
Yeah, but he has no Atos. He's at Atos.
Still, he was the guy.
Well, he's good, don't get me wrong.
He was the featherweight guy that would go at it with Cobrinha all those years. And then, Rafa Mendes came around. I was like, I'm going to take that spot. But still, great guy to watch. I love watching him compete. He's just, he's a monster. I love it. Michael Lange versus Marcio Andre. What happened in this match? Do you think there was spider guard?
No, Josh.
There was.
Really? The more you know.
This one was really close. Marcio, again, is... I still find it crazy that he goes up in weight to compete at most things and then has to work back down to featherweight like he's going to be at Pans.
What was he after this featherweight, right?
No. It's lightweight.
Oh, really? And he's at Pans too, isn't he?
At feather.
Oh, in the gi.
Yeah.
That's no fun. Does ACBJJ weigh in the gi or without the gi? Do you know?
No. Yes, no. Oh. No, I can't remember.
I just I've seen it. I've seen them weigh in. I've seen them weigh in ceremonies, but I don't remember.
No. We just brought it up really quick, and they don't. It's just a ceremony because they're like, it's this, so they probably just weigh in their undies or whatever, and
but he's got to weigh in the gi for Pans, so
yeah,
so he's got to cut some weight probably.
Possibly, it's gonna be rough on him. This was a close one throughout the entire thing. Marcio is so good, but so is Michael Lange.
Yeah, both guys are at that elite level.
It was so close the entire time. And not a nail biter, because you were like, is this guy going to sweep him at the last second and get point? But it was just so close.
It's honestly the best way to describe that. Is this guy going to sweep this guy at the last second? They were doing that point jiu-jitsu, Josh.
They were doing that I want to win thing. And, Marcio was at the end of the third round, is like trying to come around and is so close to passing. They're like, time. And he keeps passing. He's like, I don't think you said time. I'm going to get this fucking pass point.
I'm going to get the pass, Josh.
Please stop. Please stop with that terrible
accent. With my
accent.
Finnish accent, Josh?
God, it's so bad. It is so bad. I hate you.
I know, man.
Anyway, Michael Lange took that one. It'll be interesting seeing them both compete at Pans.
I mean, they're in separate divisions for Pans.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting seeing them both compete. But now Lange's at lightweight, or he's always at lightweight, and Marcio Andre is at feather. So I wonder if that's going to be a really bad cut for him and he's going to look like doo-doo or not. Anyway, Claudio Calazans, Jan Cabral. Claudio Calazans took notes from his last time competing at ACBJJ and said, I am not going to do any of that, and just went on the offensive. He ran away with it from that. And not anything like crazy, but he made sure to get those points and stay on top. Not the greatest of matches, not super boring, but
But you saw Claudio change his game plan, obviously, from one event to the next event. And that's always, for me, it's always kind of interesting to watch that.
He is the weirdest competitor to me. Honestly, I love him. Like, I love his game, I love his style, but he is the weirdest competitor to me. The guy was on the Brazilian national team. He's a high-level judo black belt. He's a high-level jiu-jitsu black belt. He's got an insane guard. He's got good takedowns. But he can't decide what he wants to do. And then he just sort of like ho-hums his way through some of these matches. It's like, dude, throw somebody, take them down, or immediately get to guard and start working.
Yeah, because if you don't know, Brazil is one of the top nations in the world for judo. Like, they consistently put out top-level talent for judo. So if you're on the Brazilian national team, you're pretty freaking good at judo.
That was for wrestling, Brazilian national team.
And for judo. Of wrestling?
Yeah. I don't think he was on the Brazilian national team for judo.
My bad, Josh. I sound like an idiot now.
You always sound like an idiot.
I mean, what you want from me, Josh?
I don't know. A little bit more professionalism, I guess.
Coming from you.
Yep. So I watched it because I like Claudio Calazans, and I also like Jan Cabral.
I like Jan Cabral.
So if you're not into him, don't watch it. If you are, it's watchable. It's not terrible where you're like, it wasn't, Herber Santos boring.
It wasn't a bad match, just wasn't. If you're going to go back, it's a long event,
And again, I jammed a lot of this match watching in today because I just got my power back at 8 o'clock this morning, Sunday. So I jammed a lot of this in, and I was like, oh my God, can we try to submit people and be more interesting? I don't know. Maybe I watch it again throughout the week and I have a better outlook on it. I don't know.
On to the next match. We have Azaki. It's not Benahiz now. What is it, Josh?
Bahens.
Bahens.
There you go. Defeated Otavio Souza. Otavio is a world champion. So what does that tell you about Izaki? That he's going to be scary.
Yeah.
I mean, Otavio hasn't been around the scene as of recently a whole lot.
But you're still you're a world champion. It doesn't just go away.
Izaki is just a mover and a groover too.
He's young too. He's like 22.
This,
I was watching this with my buddy, and I was talking about like, what were you doing when you were 22? And I was like, I wasn't fighting world champions.
no, I was barely a blue belt, and I was not a good blue belt.
I was a white belt.
You were at 22.
I was a white belt.
I'm just going back in age, so I was like, you weren't even doing jiu-jitsu that long ago.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Not that long ago, but
I mean,
when 22 for me is 10 years ago.
You're sure old, man.
22 for you was yesterday pretty much. That was 4
like
years
6 years
ago
ago or something?
4
Yeah.
years ago.
Math?
6 years ago. You're not 28.
Am I not?
Oh my God, you don't know your own age.
Yeah, no, it's between 4 and 6 years ago, depending on how you look at it. So Zaki Benahides is young. He's 22. Every time we see him, he gets better and he looks better.
Oh, absolutely. Otavio is known as a guard player, and he always sweeps from there, and he's known for that, going for that omoplata and using that and sweeping from guard, and you're like, oh, wow, this is some straight up basic jiu-jitsu that he uses. And Izaki...
But that's not derogatory.
No.
Basic,
I love it.
Good, fundamental, sound
it.
jiu-jitsu.
The way he slams over that leg for the omoplata, the way he gets to guard, the way he utilizes guard and sweeps with it every single time, it's the same exact way almost.
And you can't stop it.
And people can't stop it. Even Izaki got swept the same way from full guard and almost, got swept into full mount.
It's amazing to watch because you see a guy
great.
You know what he's going to do. He's going to do what they teach you at white belt in the first 3 months, but he does it at a black belt level consistently, and the guys can't stop it. It's crazy to watch a guy be that good at the basics, and the basics work. He doesn't need all the fancy other guards. He's going to sweep you with the basics.
Yeah. So that brings us to Javy Ramos versus Edwin Najmi.
It's a title fight, Josh, for welterweight.
25 minutes.
Edwin Najmi, going into this match, had the title. He had defeated Javy Ramos at ACBJJ 7, I think.
6 or 7. But
and that was a fire
no-gi.
match.
That was no-gi. Javy Ramos obviously listens to the podcast and corrected his mistakes that he made in the previous one and just kept his pressure on Najmi. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like Najmi didn't know what to do or he was overwhelmed. There were many times where, Javy was inside and almost getting darsed. And, Najmi is Najmi. What are you going to see him do? He's going to try to darce you. He's going to play his guard game. He's going to try to launch a flying attack at you. Javy just stayed on top of it.
Just see him not make mistakes.
He's so big.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to Edwin, who doesn't look as... The way I describe people muscularly is... Some people are like, this dude is suspect. Javy is thick as fuck.
Josh, use the word beefy all the time. He's beefy.
He is beefy. That's a beefy guy. Edwin, not so much. He's got he's
definitely built. He's definitely got some serious muscle mass on him, but he's thinner.
Yeah, he's
not as stocky.
Gangly. Gangly. He's bigger up top than he is on the bottom. You see those memes where it's looks like somebody skipped leg day every day. I'm not saying his legs are that tiny, but his upper body is proportionately bigger than his lower body. He also has a very long torso, Edwin Najmi does. He's got a long torso, long arms. He's just got this weird but also equally cool build.
That jiu-jitsu build that you want.
He's got an evolved form of it, though. Because he's very square-shaped. And I've seen it on the internet.
That's a good way to put that. Yeah, he's very square-shaped.
I've seen it on multiple message boards, and I'm pretty sure he's seen it too because he used to be all over the Sherdog message forums all the time. People compare him to SpongeBob, where he's just square on top.
I've never heard that before.
You really haven't?
No, I haven't.
People call him SpongeBob. they're joking around because Edwin Najmi will fuck 95% of jiu-jitsu players.
95%, Josh?
95. Hey, look, I'm taking the 5% is all the elite dudes. 95%.
It's not 5% elite dudes.
Anyway.
He is the 1%. He is the 1%. Team SpongeBob.
Everybody, people in Sherdog have said it. I've seen it on the underground, other things like that. They're like, dude looks like SpongeBob. There was a Photoshop of it, as a matter of fact. They took off SpongeBob's face from the picture and just put his face on it. And they were like, SpongeBob Najmi pants or something like that.
I might have seen that, actually.
Because he does have like a smaller waist and longer, skinnier legs, and he's got a boxier,
I think I did see
boxier
that.
build up top. It works great for him. He can still fly around, but he's got nasty grips. He's got a great squeeze. So, it's working for him. Call him SpongeBob all you want. He'll probably fuck you up.
So, again, Javy Ramos defeats Edwin Najmi in this match via decision. It went all 5 rounds.
Najmi was salty that he lost, though. You see when they announced that Javy won, he was like, what? And he looks over and he's like, what about me? And he was not happy about that. But, he got over it because he was like, hey, I'm watching soccer right now. I'm super excited about this, too. I can't be that mad. ACBJJ 11 was, we always say good, and we mean great, fantastic half the time. This was legitimately just like a good card. There were great matches on it, but overall it was just really long and it weighed on you, and some of these things were just laborious to watch.
It ran a little long, and
like we do.
Yeah.
Ran a little long.
So that'll do it for ACBJJ 11. Unless you got any other points, Josh?
No.
All right, on to Fight to Win Pro 65 in Houston, Texas, H-Town. So actually, once we look at the results here, it's actually in Dallas, Texas. I'm not going to edit every time we've mentioned Houston for this podcast.
It's just really funny. We're jumping ahead to 66, which is in Houston.
Yeah, the next card is in Houston, and I've been seeing all the advertisements for Houston. We've been doing previews for Houston coming up. So in my head, they did 2 Texas cards back-to-back. This one was the Houston card. That was incorrect. This one was the Dallas, Texas card. And I'm just letting you guys know I'm not going to fix it. So it's going to sound confusing, and that's why. This event paid out a total of $28,496 in salaries and commissions and had a 57.57% submission rate.
58.
The exact same as last week. And actually, the commentary staff going into the black belt card was just amazed about how many submissions has occurred. I think most of the purple belt submissions for this card, most of the purple belt matches on this card were submissions. I think in the entire purple belt bracket, there was only 1 decision going into that.
Yeah.
This card was fire.
Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. I really wish that Maine would be okay with sharing some of his notes and his thought process.
Josh, we cannot publish my notes.
Holy shit. It's amazing. Just the way his brain functions. Oh, man. It's great.
Yeah, we have some notes in this breakdown that literally, Josh, I sent him my notes and he went, what are you looking at where these are the notes you've taken?
He was confused by one thing he wrote. I was like, dude, why did you write this? And he goes, I didn't write that. Go back in your notes. He went back into his notes and he goes, I did write that. I don't know why.
I was playing Mario Sunshine, man. What you want from me? And then I found Smash Bros. I was playing that too while I was taking notes. Because it was awesome because I'd watch the card and then they'd do stuff.
Pause?
I'd take notes and then they'd finish. I would unpause. I would play. They'd walk back out. I'd look at the guys. I'd pause. I'd watch the match. It was a great way to spend a Friday night. It was awesome.
Yeah, great.
9 out of 10 would do again. So
is it 12 out of 10 with rice?
With rice.
Yeah, okay.
I love that meme. So from bottom to top here, kids and teens, we had Michelle Terragalonge defeats Haley Daniel via armbar submission of the night for the teens. We have Seth Kalin defeats Matthew Rodriguez, RNC, fight of the night. Purple belt results. We have, I can't get that name, Josh.
Carla? You can't get Carla?
Shellhammer. Husband, I think, also competed on this card tonight.
Carla.
Defeats Marcy Flores.
Marisol Flores.
Via triangle armbar, we have Kyle Short defeat Jason Perota via inside heel hook. That was submission tonight for the purple belts. We have Mark
Say it.
Mark Franscuddy. Francis defeats Chad Rizzo via bow and arrow choke. We have Guillermo Montanero defeats Thomas Rodriguez via choke. Guillermo via choke. We have Junior Flores defeats Kevin O'Malley via armbar. Mark Borodani defeats David Spindle via choke. We have Matthew Berry defeating Ryan Young. Ooh, that's not Ryan.
It probably is, but the H is there, so you can go it, or it was a spelling error.
Ryan Young.
Rhyan. Ryan. It's still there. It's like Raylar, from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
RH.
Still an odd spelling, Josh. So Matthew Berry defeats Ryan Young via armbar. Andrew Doane defeats Dom Moorfield via decision.
Doan.
And Dylan
Hinosa
defeats Kenton Stanbridge via heel hook.
Keaton Standridge. And that's either Hinosa or Josa, but I'm pretty sure it's Hinosa.
I think Hinosa via heel hook fight of the night for the purple belts. On to the brown belt results. Josh, take it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dulce Flores defeats Monte Edwards by decision. Travis Clark defeats Thomas Gentile via Kimura. Francis May defeats Bo Montier via straight ankle lock. Fat Chow.
Best rapper name ever.
Oh, God, you're an idiot. Defeats Alex Guerrero via decision. Vinny Sains defeats Henrique Rossi by decision, fight of the night. Dakota Ronaldo defeats Justin Wood via decision. Fernando Salas defeats Jairo Bautista via decision. Carlos Silva defeats Jason McGill via armbar. Buddy Roberts defeats Russin Brown via decision. Jay King defeats Jay Shellhammer via decision. Jay King is the king of Jays.
King of Jays, Josh.
Mike Anderson defeated Dave Matthews Band via loop choke. He choked the entire band via loop choke.
Matisse Gabriel defeats Joseph Ponch via choke submission of the night. And Chelsea Lyons defeats Liz Mitrovic via decision.
Moving on to black belts.
There was a gang of them this time.
A gang of them, yeah. Jonathan Hunter defeats Justin Downing via choke. Kyle Ramish.
It's Ramish.
Ramish defeats Sebastian Black via rear naked choke. Dustin Akbari defeated Sam Snow, not Sam Stout as you put him in your notes, via decision. Luis Rubalcava defeated Madeley, there we go, via decision. Keith Miner defeats Michael Foster via decision. Christopher Story defeated Eddie Sains via decision. Alan Shabaro defeats Ryan Sandhagen via split decision. Michael Alexander defeated Lance Yeager via toe hold, fight of the night. And Edmasio Marias defeated Gerson Antioch via no arm triangle, sub of the night for black belts.
So starting us off, we had a title fight for a brown belt. We had Matisse Gabriel versus Joseph Tonch.
Man, Flow Grappling was all over this kid. And, I mean, they put it out there. He had 3 titles from
Purple belt
and brown belt. But, man, they made a huge deal of it because I guess nothing else was going on this week. And they were...
And he looked good.
Honestly. I'm not denying that. Kid looks like fire.
He came out with his both ankles taped up like he was a mummy. And... Dude, he jumped guard, shot an armbar immediately, switches to high guard, goes to a triangle, tries to barambolo, all on the top, knee cuts, gets to side control, knee on belly, to a triangle. It was just he moved through him like it was nothing.
And then, mind you, his championships were at 145.
Yeah, so he's going up in weight too.
Scary kid. Scary.
Gets the triangle from the knee on belly, readjusts, and gets the tap. This was a good match, and it makes me understand, okay, why they're so high on this guy, and in hindsight.
Yeah, like it's not bad that they were on him, but they really, really hyped it up leading up to it.
Next match was another title bout. Nogi, Chelsea Lyons versus Liv Foster, brown belts. This match was a lot of standing and a lot of neither woman really committing for a takedown or going for a takedown. There were a lot of collar ties with really no committal on like getting a single leg or really legitimate snap down attempts. Not a whole lot of attempts at the arm drag. A lot of patty cake and a lot of just stand up. There wasn't a whole lot happening in this match. They got the mat at one point, but the majority of this match was contested on the feet, and Chelsea wins a decision and retains the belt. So that'll do it for the brown belts we're going to cover. Onto the black belts. We had Jonathan Hunter defeating Justin Downing via choke. This match was fun to watch. Jonathan Hunter has a nice drop Serenagi from the beginning, immediately gets the back, working the hooks, gets the collar in, goes to the top on tech mount, gets behind the head with the leg, gets the bow and arrow, gets a really quick tap from Jonathan, really quick tap from Justin. And this match, again, it was just a whole series, very smooth transitions, good match.
It went by real quick.
On to the next match. We had Kyle Ramage defeating Sebastian Black via rear naked choke. This was a fun match to watch. This is a good match. If you're going to go back and rewatch matches from this weekend, go back and watch this match. Immediately have a front headlock from Kyle, and Sebastian immediately goes to the legs, and this match is fast. They get into a leg weave. Sebastian rolls under, goes to the legs. Kyle smashes into the north-south, but he can't settle. Kyle goes for a guillotine, then Kyle goes to the crucifix. They reset standing. Every time that Sebastian shoots, Kyle front headlocks him and gets him down. And you see Kyle trying to knee cut over with the guillotine. This is something I like to see a lot. He gets to sort of like a side control, and instead of going for the darce, he keeps shooting for the guillotine to come on top with it. And it's a really interesting transition because guys will go and will flatten back out to defend the guillotine, and they'll give up the mount. And that seems to be what he keeps going for because he's not going for the darce. And the commentary staff actually talks about kind of why he's not going for the darce. They're unsure about it because they see the darce as right there because he keeps shoving his head down.
Maybe he's just not comfortable with the position and he just feels his guillotines are strong, or he can just flatten them out and go on top with them.
I think that's probably what happened. Eventually, at the end, Kyle gets the neck with about 38 seconds left, gets the rear naked choke. This is a really good match. Go back and watch this match. It was one of the more entertaining matches of the night. On to the next match, Dustin Akbar versus Sam Snow. Not Sam Stout, like I said earlier. This is a really fun match. Dustin is trying to knee slide, and Sam will not let him pass. And Sam has like a hell of a Z-guard, and it's really evident that he's comfortable playing that, and he just can't pass. Eventually, Sam tries and snag a triangle from the bottom, and Dustin tries for mount. He's got super heavy pressure on top. Like, goddamn, he's got a lot of pressure. And Sam's pushing hard on Dustin's face to make space, but he just can't seem to make the space. Dustin's again trying to pass. Sam reverses. They go back and forth. There's not a ton of submission attempts in this match. They trade ankle lock attempts at one point, and Dustin gets the decision via, basically on top, and he's just being more active. On to the next match, Louis Remklava versus Michael Madley. This match was interesting for really one piece. Louis at one point, and actually at a couple points in the match, is putting his foot in Michael's collar from the bottom. He's got almost like a spider god, but his top leg is over top of the shoulder, and he keeps pushing on the top of the collar behind Michael's neck. And the commentary eventually talks about it and goes into it, but that's the big takeaway from this match. There's some Z-guard work. They go back and forth, but that was the interesting thing in this match is that Louis keeps putting his foot in his collar, and he defeats Michael Manley via decision. Next match, Keith Miner defeats Michael Foster via decision. This was not listed as a pair jiu-jitsu match, but Keith Miner only has one hand, and it was really interesting to see him play with that skill set and with what he had available. This dude went for the legs. This match can be summarized in Michael Foster trying to go for the top position and trying to sub from the top, and every time Keith would get an opportunity, he would roll under and spin under and go for the knee bar, like the inverted knee bar from the bottom, over and over and over and over. And it was really interesting to see what he did without that hand. It didn't seem to affect his game at all, and it was really outstanding to see. Fight to Win did not list this as a para match, and I wasn't quite sure why. But it was a good match. Go back and watch this match. It was really fun to see two completely different games work basically against each other. One going for the top and one going for the inverted knee bar off the bottom. Next match we're going to talk about, Alan Shabaro defeats Ryan Sandhagen via split decision. This is a fun match. Sandhagen immediately goes for judo grips and has a nice throw attempt, and Alan ends up in the guard. Ryan has a good omoplata sweep to a knee bar from standing, and they go back to standing. They both look really active with the tie-up. They're looking for various grips to throw and to, have action from. Ryan jumps guard, looks to sweep, they stand back up, Ryan pulls close guard, Alan sits for a straight footlock, there's a knee bar attempt, there's a toe hold attempt. At one point, Ryan gets an arm bar and Alan rolls out back into the close guard. Alan's on top, he's working. He's looking for like a loop choke at one point, and he gets on top. They stand back up with like 15 seconds left. Ryan jumps, and the match ends, and Shabaro gets the split decision. This was a good match. There's some good back and forth. Both guys threw their game at each other and were looking for activity and action, but at the end, Alan just did more and was able to get the split decision. So, under the co-main event, we had Michael Alexander defeating Lance Yeager via toe hold. This was fight of the night for the black belts. They trade attempts on the legs back and forth, and there's quick movement, and there's a mistake by Mike at one point, and Yeager is able to take his back off of that. A little later in the match, Mike gets a front headlock, and he's looking for like almost a Peruvian setup, and Mike attempts to roll out of it, but he gets stuffed. Mike eventually old school flips him over to the back, and again goes for the front headlock. He's going for a knee bar, and he decides against it. With very, very little time left, Mike dives for a toe hold, and in the dying seconds of the match, literally the last second of the match, he gets it, and Lance Yeager taps, and you can hear him audibly tapping on the broadcast, and if you're going to pull out a submission at the last second, this is the way to do it. Mike Alexander defeats Lance Yeager via toe hold, fight of the night for the black belts with 1 second left. So on to the main event. Edmican Morales defeats Gerson Atagi via a no-arm triangle. This was submission of the nights for the black belts. This was a good match. This was, again, I love Fight to Win because they put matches on their main events that are good and that are exciting. These two guys, Josh and I didn't know a ton about them going into this, but we do now. This was a fast back and forth match. Gerson jumps for a flying armbar like right in the beginning. There's great guard work. They're working the lapels. He's trying to get the worm guard. Ed passes and Gerson recovers really quickly. Overhead sweeps and Ed locks in a triangle from the guard and it looks tight. And eventually, pretty shortly after that, he's able to finish that. And it looked like it was a huge upset from kind of the way everyone reacted in the audience and kind of the commentary staff and the two competitors on the mat. It looked like it was an upset, but man, Ed looked good in this match, and he is definitely a guy to watch now. I haven't heard a ton about him, and that's probably more of a failing on my end, but just the way these two transitioned, and you can tell that Gerson is a really, really good black belt, and these guys are both guys to watch after this performance. So on to IBJJF 2018 Pans. Now, for this one, because we don't have the brackets out, we're not going to speculate on who's going to match up with who. We're just going to go through the big names that we see in each division for the black belt men's and the black belt women's adult. We're not going to go to masters or other things. Usually we're going to go for the big competitors that we see and maybe talk about some things we're looking for.
Yeah, and we're just going to pick them out as we see them. We're running through it. We're not going to bore you to death with being like, okay, this person and this person.
And he plays half guard. He's a guard player from this place.
You don't want to listen to that. We don't want to listen to that. So let's get it kicking. Rooster weights. Hashimoto's in there. He's signed up under Brasa, which we both thought was very interesting.
He used to be Carpe Diem.
I think he still is. He's still repping it up until Instagram picture about 21 hours ago, unless he switched really quick.
I don't know. Well, he's registered, so IBJJF's not that fast.
I mean, you have up to a week to change it, or a couple of days for athletes checks.
If he just Instagrammed it, though. So we're not sure, but because there are other Carpe Diem individuals
under Carpe Diem
for this, so he's under Brasa. That was a little odd to us. Anyone else in Rooster you see?
There's only 6 guys. You've got Koji Shibamoto, who is a constant at Rooster weight. Lucas Pinheiro, David Herrera Jr. It's not a very large bracket, so it's not that many people. Going on to light featherweight, Pablo Mantovani, you have Maiko Arujo, you have Joao Miao.
The Miao.
Darson Hemmings, who I haven't seen pop up in a while, so it's kind of cool. He's out of Canada, last I remember. Anyway, he was a cool kid to watch, so it'll be interesting to make see him competing again.
Because I haven't talked about him since we've had this podcast, so it's been
a while. Yeah.
Under the featherweights.
Ooh, featherweights.
Grippo.
Grippo and Dolan repping Alliance. You have the Maheka brothers from ATT. You have Samir Chantre and Cashinho, Oswaldo Moisinho from Aries BJJ. Gilson Nunez, Checkmat. AJ Agazarm in featherweight in the gi, which is kind of crazy to me.
It's a hell of a cut for him.
Yeah.
He's been going down to featherweight more and more, but still, like, how he makes that cut that frequently and still performs like how he does, like, give the guy credit.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from him.
He does not walk around close to featherweight.
I guess he's just going to be, smaller now. Silvio Duran is here, I see. Marcio Andre at featherweight.
Shane Jamil Hill Taylor.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that is. Again, I said it at the beginning of last year. I think this is going to be his year. I think we are going to see him.
It'll be interesting to see how he does. He's gone back and forth with Grippo a few times. I'd love to see him going against Doderlin, seeing how he's going to deal with him. And, Agazarm is a match for anybody. As much as he just drives me insane, he is a match for anybody.
Oh yeah, he's not an easy guy to go through. So that'll do it for the featherweights. On to the male lightweights.
Johnny Tama and Michael Lange, both from Alliance in this one. Jiminy Christmas. JT Torres from Atos, Michael Lange. Michael Lira. Andres Biernovskis.
Mashiro Iwasaka from Carpe Diem.
Masahiro Iwasaki.
Oh, my bad.
Who went to the finals at Europeans. With Michael Lange.
Yeah, with Lange, yep.
He upset Canudo. He upset SpongeBob. Najmi, thank you.
John bracket too at lightweight.
20 people. John Combs is in there. You have Vitor Oliveira, who I thought was always a middleweight. That's interesting to see him at lightweight. Mm-hmm. Victor Silviero.
Again, a big bracket.
Espen Matisse is... Wait a second. Did we not see Najmi? He's normally in lightweight.
Let me look. I do not think
we see him.
Nope, he is not. He is not in lightweight right now. Interesting.
Anyway, moving on to middleweight. Again, you have more people. Alliance is sending in, two people at a smack all the time.
Alliance and Atos, both divisions. Two
Marcos
guys.
Tinoco, Athos Miranda from Alliance, and then you have Mikey Perez and Rolando Sampson.
You got Tommy Langacker in there again.
Oh yeah.
So we saw him beat Herber Santos at Europeans.
Dante Leon from GF Team.
Felipe Silva from
Gabriel
Unity.
Argis. I wonder if Argis and Souza are going to try to close out again. That'll be interesting.
Surprise me at all.
No, I mean they're both really, really good. So Admar Barbosa popping back in at middleweight. I personally haven't seen him compete in a while, and he's in our general in the tri-state area.
Yep.
So it'll be cool to see him back as well.
It's been a little bit since we've seen him.
I think so. Yeah.
So interesting to see him come back for Pans. Pans is in California this year, as every year. But in case you didn't know,
it was in Florida one year, years and years
ago. But it's been a while. Again, 17 people in the middleweight bracket. Onto the medium heavy bracket.
14 people. Again, Atos and Alliance are going to try to battle for that team trophy. So you have Mateus Diniz and Hanato Cordoso for Alliance, and you have Gustavo Batista and Hulk for Atos.
And medium heavy.
Oh yeah,
Lucas Barbosa.
Hudson Mateus in medium heavy. It'll be interesting to see if he makes waves. Local guy Samil Abdul Kader from Dave Jacobs' team. Gabriel Vieira, Orlando Montero, Nick Schrock. You're seeing a lot of these people that we see in all these tournaments. It's
every division has a bunch of big name guys in it.
Yeah.
I always love seeing these majors for IBJJF because dudes show up, and Pans is one of the 4 big ones for the year. You got Euros, you got Pans, you got Worlds, and you have
Brasileiros.
Yeah. So it's always fun. Like, this is the first big one of 2018 to see all the dudes coming back out and guys we haven't seen in a little bit coming to compete.
Yep.
Onto the male heavyweights.
14 people. Leandro Lowe's at heavyweight. That's going to be a hard guy to beat.
Tanner Rice is there.
Tanner Rice, who, again, I swear, I remember seeing him first come out at black belt, and I think he was like a featherweight or a lightweight.
I think he was at feather initially. He was at feather earlier in his career. He might have been at lightweight at black belt, but there's a picture of him where he's like younger and super skinny, and there's a picture of him at
now
heavy or super heavy next to someone cropped out with him Buchecha next to each other, and it says Acai is the real superfood.
Acai.
I always call it Acai, man. Acai is the real superfood.
Roberto Torrebalis there is in there. Tex Johnson from Unity. That's going to be, I think that's Lowe's division to lose. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to him coming up through that. Smaller division for super heavyweight.
But still look who's in it.
Yes, but the standout who is probably... Oh, no. I take that back.
So we got Keenan.
Keenan is the first one there, and you're like, okay, this could be his division to win.
But then you have
Tim Spriggs in there.
And you got Dop.
You got Ali. You have Muhammad Ali in there. Gutenberg Piera. Oh, goodness.
Again, dude, super heavyweight
is going to be fire.
I think Keenan takes it. Because I think we've seen him against Ali. We've seen him against Spriggs.
Spriggs has beaten him before.
Oh, he has, hasn't he?
They went 1-1. What was it?
I think
last year or the year before?
I think Keenan beat him more recently, though.
He
recently, I think.
Didn't
I forget where.
In the gi.
Was it at
in the gi somewhere?
Was it at New York or was it at?
It might have been New York.
Yeah,
but it was recently.
It was recently, last 4 months or something like that. I think Keenan has beaten Spriggs. Spriggs coming off that loss to
Lovato
last week.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, again, dude, I love super heavy. Super heavy is crazy right now.
There's actually more people now in ultra heavy than there is in super heavy.
He's got 10 people.
Antonio Braga Neto, unless this is a different Antonio Braga Neto.
Probably not, Josh.
He's in there. You have Moku Kahawai. That's right.
Yep. You have Gabriel in this division as well.
Yep. You have Max Jimenez.
You have Ricardo Evangelista.
Oh, goodness.
You mean Cyborg?
No.
Oh,
that's not Cyborg. That's a different event. That's a different one.
Wrong Evangelista.
Gustavo Elias.
Dude,
Otavio Nalati.
Are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're reading through, we're just going to read through the big names, and I realized every division we're reading like 8 guys out. Like, oh, there's 8 big, because it's a major tournament. It's one of the 4 big ones for the year.
Jumping over to the females.
Starting out with the light featherweight division.
Light featherweight. Talita Alencar. Gazeri Matuda. Patty Fontes. Sophia Amarante. I'm literally reading the entire division pretty much. Fiona Watson. YX Xiong. That's Xiong.
I think we see Alencar, Matuda, and Fontes.
I don't know. Alencar, took that L at Europeans.
Alencar's hit or miss, but I think that
she was on fire coming into it, and then she petered out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think your 1, 2, and 3 are those 3.
Patty Fontes, Gazeri. That's gonna be a good division to watch.
Yep. Under the featherweights, we have Bianca Basilia. We have Heather Rafferty.
Let's see. Emil Maxine Thielen. You have
we've seen Thielen before.
Karen Borges. Was Borges always checkmate or did she switch?
I think she was always checkmate.
Sometimes it's hard to keep track of some of these people. Kristen Mickelson.
Yep. And then again, another female division. Lightweights, both from Gracie Humata.
Humaita.
Whatever it is, Josh. I can't say it. I'm not Brazilian.
Humaita.
You told me to stop doing the accent, so I stopped.
Yeah, but you can say Humaita.
Humaita.
Come on, it's like, Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa.
All right, nerd.
Fuck you.
So we have Bia
Mesquita and Jenna Ray Bishop.
And so they'll close that out if there's no one in the division.
I think they'll compete.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I think they'll compete. It doesn't matter. No. I think they'll compete. Anyway,
that's
females,
the full division.
That's the whole
two
division.
women. It's a smaller division, but hey, at least there's not one.
Yep. So middleweight for the ladies, you have Hinata Morea, you have Angelica Galvao,
you have Catherine Perret,
Luisa Montero, who just switched over to Atos, and yes, Catherine Perret,
Josh's favorite smile.
Yes, she. Fuck you, man. I'm sorry. You're a black-hearted piece of shit.
I mean, you're not wrong, Josh.
People's smiles can't make you happy.
You're not wrong, Josh.
Black female medium heavy division. 3 competitors: Natalie DeJesus, Karina Santi, and Nivea Mora. Kind of small division again. I like that we're seeing. I think so as well. I like seeing these divisions where there are 9 females in it. There's more than 3. You know, that's always
you see exciting. A couple matches as opposed to where you get like a closeout or you get like.
Well, the three right here, like you have to do a sort of a round robin type thing that IBJJF does,
which is cool.
It's but not again, fully round robin.
We're not seeing people with 1 division and 2. We're seeing like, okay, you get 3, you're getting 4. Like, dude, middleweight has 9 competitors. Like featherweight has 7. Like those are
light feather
finally starting to get bigger divisions, and I'm happy that we're starting to see women show up and compete because
it's awesome.
It's awesome. On to the heavyweights.
5 competitors: Jessica Flowers, Fernanda Mazzelli, Leah Taylor. This one's gonna give me a little bit of trouble. Jacinta X Wen Hu. There we go.
From Toronto BJJ.
This one will also give me some trouble. Maria Malali. Oh, God.
Maliasik.
Thank you. She's doing a seminar in a couple of weeks in the area.
Thinking about going to it.
Yeah. Good on you. Finally, the super heavy division. Only 2 people, and you're thinking, well, it's the super heavy division. It's the female black belt. So I'm obviously waiting to hear Tayane Porfirio. Not in it.
That's confusing because she took the Grand Slam last year, which is all 4 of the majors. I think she took him at weight and absolute for all 4 majors. We don't see her here, so that is interesting. I'm not sure why.
All we have is Claudia Doval and Hillary Van Ornum.
I think why she's not. I think she got injured at Euros, didn't she?
I can't remember.
I think she may have got injured or something is what happened. Which is why we're not seeing her.
It's just weird not seeing her because she's always competing.
Yeah. So she usually wins her division.
And then the absolute. That's the other thing. There are a lot of females in this. I'm hoping that there is a large absolute division.
Yeah, because the absolutes for females are always just anyone can win that division.
Well, normally what happens, this is what it used to be before some of the people left, where you'd probably have Dern in there or
Garcia.
Or Gabby Garcia, or now it's Tayane Porfirio. But you'd have Dern or you'd have Bia Mesquita.
Yeah.
And possibly Natalie DeJesus.
Sometimes.
Jessica Flowers. But like those were those people that would stand out and be in the semifinals and the finals. So
without Porfirio, it kind of opens it up a little bit. So it'll be interesting.
It would be really cool to see a real, like anywhere from featherweight to lightweight, light feather to lightweight take it, because it's been a little bit since someone of the smaller
when did Dern
weights.
Take it?
I don't think Dern ever took it.
She beat Gabby.
Yeah, but I think that was at Abu Dhabi.
You're right. I think that was
not the other one.
Yeah, not
Pans or Worlds. It's been dominated mostly by either Gabby or Tayane. Dominica Obalente didn't win the absolute.
I can't recall offhand. So that's that.
Yeah. This is going to be really interesting. We're going to try, hopefully no power outages or anything happens like that. We're going to try to go live and do some commentary. You can join us. You can tell us how much you hate us. Or
you can be supportive and a cool guy and go, hey, really enjoy the commentary. Thanks for talking about these matches, because Flo doesn't do that for a lot of matches.
Some of them, yeah. So We haven't decided yet if it's going to be on YouTube or Twitch or something, but we will.
Maybe all of them, Josh.
You've got that kind of setup, bro?
Josh, I got like 4 phones. One for the plug, one for the low.
Oh, God, I hate you. Do you have like a decent camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make it work, Josh.
Apparently, we're going to make
fans.
it work for the fans. I hate Maine so much.
So look forward to that soon.
And that'll wrap up our pan coverage for the moment being. Get ready for that next week. That is the only thing. And you know they're going to be uploading those videos fast as shit. That just about wraps up our coverage of the goings on of next week.
I mean, the big stuff is Pans next week. There are some other events occurring next week. UAE-JJF has an event, a Grand Slam event in London.
You've got a few people competing in that,
Which
such
is
as
really,
Jackson Souza and Paula Meow.
Yeah, if you didn't make it to Pans, is really what it is. So Meow suspended, can't compete for IBJJF for WADA events. So he's over at UAE doing that thing.
And then you also have coming up shortly the sumo tournament, which is starting that same weekend. Day 1 will happen at the end of Pans. So you'll hear our midway review the following week. But I always get excited about that. But I might be just jujitsu'd out because of watching all of that Pan Am
we always
Championship.
recap it at the end of the Sumo Boss show. And so we'll do that probably this time.
We'll do a little bit of fill-in, just say how it's going from there.
So that does it for this week in events.
And that does it for this week on the Grappling Rewind podcast. As always, you can email us at thegrapplingrewind@gmail.com. You can check us out on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere you can find
Facebook,
podcasts. We're on Facebook, Grappling Rewind,
Instagram,
Grappling Rewind,
Twitter.
Grappling Rewind.
Reach out to us on social media. If you got something that you want us to cover, you want to clarify, we are here.
You want to tell us we're idiots? Hey, let us know.
You want us to pronounce your name correctly?
Let us know. Subscribe on the YouTube page. Leave us a review.
Helps us out a lot.
It helps us out. And, it eventually will help you out. We like to give back. We're doing this as something that isn't done. So help us help you. Again, as always, I'm Josh.
I'm Maine.
And this is the Grappling Rewind podcast.
We'll see you on the mats.